think we all trust in each other more than ever, especially as these times gets tough and people count us out.
You still confidence in Zach?
Oh, yeah. Come on now. Yeah, it's my dog, and he can spin. Yeah, man, all the confidence in the world. You know, we got to figure it out on offense as a whole.
Right now, Zach is the best player he's who gives us the best chance to win.
Is it fair to the rest of your team to keep sticking by Zach through this?
Yeah.
D. Wood, I'll give you the what?
Zach's not starting quarterback. Let's make that be. Let's make it plain. He's not. The problem with the Jets is who you going to pull out there right now that's going. No one's coming to save you, Greeny. No one's coming to save the Jets organization right now. All their eggs was in one basket. Aaron Rodgers was not only the quarterback, he was the offensive coordinator. He was the whole damn franchise. And he goes up in smoke in four plays, and now you left with the rubble right here. Right. You got an offensive coordinator who's uncreative, who doesn't know what the hell he's doing out there. This is not Aaron Rodgers, quarterback. Like, you got to figure out what Zach Wilson does well. I don't know what Zach Wilson does well, but you got to figure something out here, because let me tell you something. This thing is going to get away from you quick, fast, in a hurry right now. Right now.
I honestly can't be fired up about it because I feel sorry for him.
For who?
I feel sorry for the entire team. I feel sorry for Robert Saleh. If you look at his face when he was asked that question about Zach Wilson, there was a reason he couldn't find the words, because there are none. You said we have to figure out what Zach Wilson does well. It's be the backup quarterback. Zach Wilson was happy. Right? Like, he was legitimately happy because he didn't have to play. I played with people like this in high school whose father played high school football, whose parents loved going to the football games on Friday, and they were just happy to be on the team. They never wanted to play. They never had an intention of playing. And if you tried to put them in the game, they would suddenly get cramps. That's how Zach Wilson is playing right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be out there. And I'm going to be honest, it's not his fault. It's not his fault we look at him this way. It's not his fault that he's in this position. Their plan to put all their eggs in the basket of Aaron Rodgers wasn't because they just wanted to. It's because they had to. Mm-hmm. The sort of hope and the sort of faith that they had in that was that it couldn't get any worse and that we couldn't go back to Zach Wilson. Look at Garrett Wilson's face. Look at him on the sideline. He's not trying to pump Zach Wilson up. He's pleading with him. Please, all offseason, all I thought about was winning the championship. All offseason, all I thought about was that I'd have an opportunity to be Offensive Player of the Year. Aaron Rodgers did not apologize to Garrett Wilson for getting hurt because he thought that Garrett Wilson was just going to be sad he was hurt. He knew the year was over. Yeah. He knew what was behind him. And when you look at Robert Saleh's face, he knows too. It's a wrap, y'all. It's over.
And you're 100% right. The difference between those teammates of yours in high school and Zach Wilson is that they weren't the second pick in the NFL draft.
That's not his fault either.
No, well, maybe it's not his fault. It's someone's fault. And the bottom line of it is this, Rex. He cannot be out on the field ever again for the Jets, and I'm going to tell you why. I know you disagree. I'm going to tell you why. Because RC is right. Their chances of winning anything this year are over. They're not remote. They're done. They need to try to keep this thing together. And if they run Zach Wilson out there one more time, Garrett Wilson's going to lose it. Michael Carter was losing it. They're all going to lose it. So I don't care who it is, literally anyone. Carson Wentz is calling. Matt Ryan is calling. I don't care who the hell you have to run out there. Do anything else. But that is going to explode in there. They already hated that kid last year. They're running around in Mike White shirts. They probably shouldn't have kept him on the team in the first place, but they want to try and justify the fact that they made him the second pick in the draft and had this idea that maybe Aaron Rodgers will turn him into a superstar, as though he's not only going to be the quarterback, but he's also going to be a coach, which I guess in theory he could have been. But the bottom line of it is they can't put him back on the field again. Sunday night against Kansas City, that team is ready to fracture.
Well, I'll say this. Number one, he's on the team for a reason.
What?
They couldn't afford a backup quarterback to bring in another veteran backup, a Gardner Minshew for $8 million. They couldn't afford it. They put everything in. Everybody's right. Every single chip went in on the Aaron Rodgers thing. And when he went down, It is what it is. Right now, you've got an offensive coordinator sitting back. We're going to find out about him more than anybody else because right now you got to sit back and why is it not working? Why does it look so bad? Because it was all set up for Aaron Rodgers. This is not Aaron Rodgers. He can't hold his job strap. We get that. So now we got to sit back. They're not going to punt on the season. Robert Saleh, I like Robert Saleh. I like him. And I think he's going to fix this team. And here's why I think he's going to fix it. So, Greeny, I'm going to sit back and be laughing because when this season starts going, I'm going to sit back and say, I told you so. And here's why. They are going to play better on defense. Sauce Gardner can't screw up like he did, in cover 3. You got to be on top of that route. That route doesn't exist. It's a baseball score game, and maybe we win in a damn walk-off. That's how you have to win games. Give this staff a chance to sit back and say, okay, who the hell are we now that Aaron Rodgers is not there? What can this kid do? Well, he's got mobility, and he's got arm talent. That's one thing. That's two things I know the kid has. Yeah. Is he a jerk at times? Absolutely. But I know he can move. Let's move the pocket. We're struggling to pass protect. Let's change the launch frickin' angle.
But they can't block nobody.
Have they done any of that? But they haven't done literally any of that. They haven't done any of that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Give the guy a chance to sit back and say, now we know Aaron's not there. We've got to do some things like this. It takes time to do. They also need to find out who the hell they are running the football, D-Wood.
Nathaniel Hackett, we're going to learn a lot about Nathaniel Hackett as offensive coordinator. Rex, when we were together, when I can't even say the word, when, bull crap hit the fan. We knew we had a couple things that we could hang our hat on.
Right.
They need things they can hang their hat on. They don't have that. Running the football, they got to have things that they can hang their hat on to take the pressure off the quarterback because the quarterback is not going to get it done.
But this is what I'm seeing right now. They don't know who they are running the football. They know they got some talent at tailback, but they can't figure out, are they running duo where they double team both D tackles or whatever? Are they going to run the outside zone play or whatever? They can't even figure that out. They've got to find out, say, no, we're going to run it. Here's what we would do. Our thing on offense was we were going to run the damn power. All right? Point of attack, we're going to double team that thing, pull the backside guard around, and we're going to hit that thing downhill 20 times. That's how they're going to have to do it.
Because you had DeBrickashaw Ferguson and Nick Mangold and Damien Woody. The Jets have a terrible offensive line, and they knew that going into the season. Rodgers was going to theoretically try and cover it up. Let's just go back, though, however, to the point of this. It feels like a pressure cooker, and it almost happened last year. There was a mutiny. If he had left Zach Wilson on the field one more game last year, I think the Jets locker room would have exploded. My biggest fear is that before Rodgers can fix anything again, it will happen.
No, I believe so. But the other piece is this, Greeny. You're standing up here and you're talking about Zach Wilson, and you're squeezing your hands like Arthur. I don't know if you've ever seen that meme when Arthur's just squeezing the mess out of his hands to his side. Like that's what you look like. Imagine that locker room. And I always say this. Do you know why you're so upset? Why you're so hurt? Because expectations are the breeding grounds for disappointment, right? And you were so excited coming into this season. You thought that this team was going to be so different. But what did we say the entire offseason? It's about what this offensive line could be. You knew this offensive line would have problems. And Aaron Rodgers was supposed to fix that. He's no longer there. So who is there to fix that? Before you got Aaron Rodgers or while you had him, who were you building up in case, because inexplicably, in case he gets hurt, the possibility that's 100%, all of us will get hurt at sometimes. What are we going to do? There was no contingency plan. There was no, in case of emergency, break the glass. They need to break the glass. They just can't figure out what's behind it.
The glass is long since broken. I mean, let's be very clear. We got no glass. There's no glass. And if there is, it would have cut our feet to shreds at this point. 726 yards. Most by any team in the NFL since 1951. There's 70 points. Most by a team since 1966. 130 FBS teams played this weekend. None of them scored as many points as the Dolphins did on Sunday.
Do you know what's crazy?
What?
There is a quarterback that wasn't Tua Tagovailoa, that should probably be the Jets starting quarterback right now, that threw a 70-yard touchdown against the Denver Broncos. And that was Mike White.
Yeah.
They had backups scoring touchdowns for the Miami Dolphins. I'm gonna be honest, and I don't believe it's hyperbole. This is the most explosive offense we've seen since the greatest show on turf. And that's even with Kansas City's Tyreek Hills and all of those different things. There is so much speed on this field, and I believe that Mike McDaniel is so creative in the way he creates openings for these people and the empowerment of Tua Tagovailoa. Tua has always been extremely accurate. He's always been extremely skilled in going through progressions and processing. He is on an entirely different level. And what Tyreek Hill said, which still, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world. What Tyreek Hill said when he got there is like, Tua is ultimately accurate, maybe more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. It's not as funny now to laugh at that when we're seeing what he's able to do.
Greeny, let me tell you something. These guys can speak to it as well. There's nothing scarier than facing speed. The Dolphins have literally a 4x1 track team out there. And so when you got a mad scientist and Mike McDaniel who knows how to design these things, and you're getting all of these track athletes out there, you know what it does? It puts everybody on their heels. Every time the Dolphins go out there on offense, these guys on defense are on their heels. It's like Ryan said, this is the scariest thing since the greatest show on turf.
Did we mention they played that game without Jalen Waddle? So they played that game without arguably their second best weapon. That said, it takes two to tango. So, Rex, the Dolphins, brilliant. Take nothing away. How about the Denver defense?
What defense? They played yesterday?
You know what's funny? Like, I'm sitting here, like, are you kidding me? That could have been me there, and like literally. Maybe they should have ponied up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Payton said last year that was maybe the worst coaching job in the history of the NFL. Now he gave up 70 points.
Rex, you wouldn't have gave up 70. I'm sorry.
You think? Hey, I mean,
not in half a season.
I mean, I gave up 45 one game. It felt like we got our living heck beat out of us.
What do we say about that?
It's just brutal. Like, I see it as absolutely a disgrace. And when you're sitting back out there, how do you face your team knowing, look, we can say what we want, whether it's me or somebody else. I mean, this is an absolute disaster. Nobody saw this coming. This defense literally was supposed to be a top 5 defense in the league, and maybe number 1 with the right guy running it. But this is an absolute embarrassment. I don't disagree that Mike McDaniel's done an amazing job, all right, and the creativity and all that. Thing I'm most impressed with is how he's kept Tua upright.
Yeah.
That was the question. Yeah. All right. And so he's made it, the ball comes out of Tua's hand faster than does any other quarterbacks.
Yep.
All right. And now guess what he's doing? Running the football. I thought the Miami Dolphins couldn't run the football. I thought they were in the Dalvin Cook sweepstakes. Well, what happened? They got 2 guys right here that can run it. So I definitely give this guy credit. But on the other side of it, that's the worst defense. I've only been on the planet for 60 years, never seen anything that bad.
When you watch this defense, it goes to institutional control, which is the head coach's job, right? It's let's not worry about how many babies Russell Wilson kisses. Yeah. Let's not worry about his public persona and how he plays. Let's not worry about being the Fox analyst and coming back out and talking about what Nathaniel Hackett did.
Right.
I said it at that time. Talk about what we're going to do. Talk about how we are going to get better. And we, for a head coach, is offense. It's special teams. It's defense. Sean Payton was worried about all of the wrong things in the offseason. And we gave him a pass because he'd won a Super Bowl. We gave him a pass because we felt like he was a good coach and had proven everything he needed to prove during his tenure in New Orleans. They're getting worse. And right now, when you play the Miami Dolphins, you understand what you're stepping into the stadium to do. So as a team, you play that offense.
I got 10 seconds.
Okay.
Go. 10.
The Denver defense has given up 16 touchdowns.
Yeah.
They forced 5 punts this year.
5 punts.
Are you absolutely kidding me?
Yeah.
So an absolute disaster. It ain't Russell Wilson.
Right.